We'll see if Aurelia can gain that spell protection. We'll see. I'm excited. I'm excited. I've just thrown Coco to the side. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was just lying on his face over there. How dare you?
He's tired. He wanted to take a nap.
He was taking a nap. Okay. All right.
You want to hold that one?
I'll hold this one.
I'll hold this one. Wait, can't see this.
He's so cute. I can't. It's like
your evil pet.
It's like my evil pet. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, the thing that I always like to mess around with is like pretending like they get summoned from this demon circle thing.
Oh my gosh, that's terrifying.
Just like appear from the desk. Okay, they didn't want any more of that. Thank God.
Guy behind the desk was like, "Come on, we gotta shut these guys up."
Nobody can witness the summoning of Coco and Mimi. That's why.
No.
It's not appropriate for Twitch streams. The amount of scarring and just PTSD that it would cause.
All right, we've been leading up to this game all day. It's the finals of the first game of the finals in the 4th week of the NGE Shadowverse Open. Shadow on the side of Noah, and autoaim starting with his Swordcraft deck.
Now the curve's not looking great. If you drop...
No, there's not a 1 or a 2 drop for Noah.
Oh boy.
And he went first too. He had the play point advantage and essentially giving the free advantage for the evolve orbs over to autoaim. 3
luminous mages and 3 evolution orbs. He's just going to be evolving
He's gonna be
turn 4 to forever.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever going to be a turn where he doesn't evolve after turn 5 at least.
This guy is a huge supporter of Darwin's theory right here.
At your service.
Just he's really buying into the whole evolution idea.
When you first said that, I was like, where is he going with this? Oh. Ooh, I see. That's great. That's hilarious. That was like the lowest hanging fruit of that joke.
Yeah, that was real close to the ground there.
And this Jay Leno's got a great chance to trade in to these skeletons and staying alive with 2 health.
Yeah. Look, you know, upon closer inspection, what difference does it make whether he wears a mask or is a person with a wolf head?
Makes a huge difference. What if he's like...
He's still him.
He's... Right, but, you know, what if he's like a, I don't know, like a preschool teacher? Would you want to send your kids to a preschool taught by, like, a fun guy with a wolf mask? You know, or, like, a wolf man?
Uh-huh.
You know?
I'm trying to think of any kind of lessons we can learn from Little Red Riding Hood, but it's not really coming to me. Oh, here he is again! You can't get rid of him, man!
Can't get rid of him, man. He's here to stay.
So, 1 into the Cerberus, and Jay Leno into the Skeleton.
Sorry, gotta go.
And yet, despite the fact that there's so many evolution orbs, none of them have been spent on the side of autoaim. The curiosity, again, as per normal, is even with all these evolution orbs, is that enough to keep pace with things like Ector? Which I suspect that it may, especially because autoaim is living with 19 health on turn 6.
In this matchup, yeah, I think you're right. I mean, Noah has got a full hand. Typically, we see the Shadow players exhausting all their cards, and that's enough damage to end the game, but he hasn't been able to, the curve has been as such where he hasn't been able to make those plays.
I think it's going to be important in this...
There's Aurelia.
I think it's going to be important in this turn to really make sure your cards are going to be beefy. You want to mitigate as much of the Ector as you can every single turn, and especially make it difficult for Ector to trade in with the zombies as well as the buffed up units. Ward might be important to keep Noah from swinging face.
He does have Ector on this turn. That would clear off. He'd be able to completely clear the board and do some damage in face.
Aurelia seems like the smart decision after an Ector drop, but at the same time, Tsubaki will get rid of the Ector in one fell swoop.
Right.
And you can't really choose both. And the face damage right there, and that's what we're talking about. With that ward, you can mitigate a lot of that chipping damage. And Aurelia coming down, despite the fact that there would be 2 cards, only that Aurelia can buff off of it, you can't get the spell block.
Oh, and he drew a 2-drop as well. He drew Unico.
Okay, he's going to use Tsubaki instead. And I think that if you spend, for example, an evolution orb here, I wouldn't even blame you.
Right.
Because you have so many luminous mages you have to start getting value or else you're going to fall behind.
Yeah.
So on the second Ector, then you get yourself a situation where those cards will have to trade into the Tsubaki, and then you play the Aurelia, and you get a lot of value, and, you know, Soul Squasher is going to be great in that situation. But choose up a little bit. And this is great because the Aurelia is going to get a ton of value here.
Yep. Yeah, the Aurelia.
Look how shiny it is.
Possibly the Trooper as well. Autoaim's really thinking about all the exact options he can to try to take the game back in his favor. He's chipped out a lot of health. He's only got 12 health remaining.
Needs to be very careful thinking about how to tide over the next 2 turns. It's really about maintaining stability, and this is what we were talking about. Once it gets to a certain stage in the game,
Hey, why so angry?
On my blade, victory and
Really?
prosperity are yours.
It all ends here.
kill the card first, then you play the Aurelia.
Featherblade, show your true power.
Right, he could have played the Hold Soul Swing after the Aurelia, I suppose. But the turn's going over to Noah. What?
So the big thing is,
Yeah.
if there was even if there was a second Soul Squasher, that wouldn't have mattered for the Aurelia
Right.
because of the spell protection.
Yeah, you can't target it.
Here comes the Ector. Now the Ector and all its pals have to swing into Aurelia here. Gonna buff it up, and so he's gonna have 2, 3 units here, 4, 4, and 3 that can swing. Evolving that as well.
It's going to be a game right there. 13 damage right to face.
Yeah. I think it was just playing the ward on turn 6, I feel like, was so important, right? You needed to make sure you had a strong board at that point in time to mitigate as much of the damage as you could. Then the Tsubaki comes in and takes down the Demon Lord Ector, and then you can clear the board appropriately.
Right.
I think that it was a hard read to make, but I feel like playing the suboptimal Aurelia before there was a full board of stuff
Right.
was going to be the better option there.
Yeah, and we talked about how having all the Luminous Mages would have been great, but we didn't even get to that stage of the game. He still had evolution points available to him, and he didn't even play all those Luminous Mages.
Which may have gone into kind of, you know, maybe it was a better choice just to even evolve the Genos that you were playing. Right? Just make it much more tough to clear them out. And you know that even if they use stuff like little Soul Squashers, whatever, then you just start playing your mages.
And we talked about the Aurelia a lot. About, what's that card going to do? And one Ector buffed up zombie with Coco taked it out.
Yeah.
That quick.
Yeah. I really think that,
And now the tides have
got put in a
shifted.
tough
Now Noah is on his sword deck, and Autoaim's on his shadow.
yeah, they're taking turns.
Yep.
Got a mulligan 3.
If Autoaim is able to take this, it's going to be a sword mirror matchup in the third game. Or Noah could end it right here if he's able to.
So really, Catacomb is the one card that I think will really help Autoaim's early game.
Especially considering he's got a 1-drop, he's got a 2-drop. It's the exact thing he needs. He still has one more turn to draw the Catacomb. But there's a Maid Leader and a Lancer in the hand of Noah as well.
Lancer comes down. That's really going to slow things down. Oh, didn't get the Catacomb.
He still has a 1-drop. 2 Cerberus in hand. Those are going to be really nice. This could make the difference between a loss or a win. But at this stage of the game, you're not playing those cards.
Picked up the mage off the Maid Leader. And the setup is pretty nice. Turn 4, you've got Geno. Turn 5, you've got Mage. You've also got Floral Fencer, if you want to play that.
Apologies, sir.
This is a tough situation to get a hold of.
Yeah, you want to play Floral Fencer and evolve, attack one of the Skull Beasts, and you still have a pretty beefy follower and 2 other ones. But that, again, just feeding the Soul Reaper, the Shadow Reaper. And then Autoaim's got Cerberus on next turn as well, followed by Death's Breath the turn after that. They were going to see another Cerberus traded into a Floral Fencer.
Yeah, we've seen that interaction so many times, just the 4 turn and the 5 turn.
The way that these deck compositions work out, that's usually the curve that both players are striving for. You want to have Cerberus on turn 5 or turn 6 where you can use one of the Cocos and Mimis, and you want to have Floor Fencer on turn 4 if you're going second.
I wonder if he's going to throw his Shadow Reaper into the Knight after trading the Skull Beast, or if he's going to go face for 3. He's going to leave the Shadow Reaper at 1. And I think that's important. Try to minimize as much board control Swordcraft has.
Right. Of course, this next turn, Luminous Mage is in the hand of Noah. But even then, that's going to take out the Cerberus, but it'll take out the Mage, of course. Taji really great, and so is Lino as well.
It's got another one. You can play another Quick Blader into the Cerberus if he wants to.
He doesn't have a 3-drop, though. That would end his turn, effectively.
I think this is fine. Geno gets into the point where he gets his enhanced activation.
Next turn, right.
But you are also getting to that point again. Of course, the shadows are much less at this stage in the game, but you're coming into turn 7, and there's no clear way to mitigate damage.
And there's 2 Cocos and 2 Mimis in the hands of autoaim. Noah, he cleared the board, emptied at that turn, and much like a lot of other cards, when you play Cerberus, unless you evolve an attack, you essentially kind of lose that turn. You get a 3/3 follower on the board, which is not much for 5 points. But being able to do that essentially for free when you're not having to clear the board because there wasn't anything on the board, really great play from autoaim. Being able to answer in and gain, I think, a huge advantage.
You and I, Knight. My
Luminous
sword
Mage
brings
gets
hope.
dropped here.
It won't
Only
be
one in
long
hand.
now. Turn the power of hope to light.
Sorry, gotta go.
Finally, we'll take down the second Cerberus. Death's Breath is a choice, and I think that's a good choice,
It's the pits for you.
especially
Take up
because you can
my
just
shield
remove
and
the Mage, evolve and gain board control here.
Definitely, and you still have 3 wards on your side of the field. 9 health total of wards. That's going to be a lot that Noah's got to have to chew through.
Double Coco and Mimi, if there's any board control that remains, there's a ton of damage. Now, Evolution Orbs are done for auto-aim. We're heading into the later turns, and there's still a lot of resources left for Noah. But will he get the options necessary to tide himself over? And can he survive? I mean, there's a lot of dangerous top decks that auto-aim could just run into right now.
Right. And Immortal Thane would be nice. Obviously, Ector as well.
Trading it out. Two Knights, maybe evolve one of them. Trading another one.
I'll save you all.
Not really a trade, I suppose. This Knight will stay alive. That's going to be a great turn. He's going to be able to do that again on turn 8. Maybe he'll even get something like a Fangblade Slayer. Can't evolve the Lirial, but any kind of card that gets dropped here is going to be super valuable. And again, Mimi comes down. Any kind of card drop right now is very valuable because of the nature of buffing up their damage.
And autoaim has already exhausted his hand.
Oh, he has.
I mean, he
Albert
still
ready
has
to
Soul
go.
Squasher and plenty of shadows.
Strength
And
beauty together.
we talk about the evolve point advantage a lot for Swordcraft, and that really just gives Soul Squasher even more targets. Next turn, he's going to be able to use it on the Floor Fencer.
Loyalty is ironclad.
There's a Floral Fencer going to go into the ward, and then Geno all going to maintain their presence on the board by taking the appropriate targets here.
And these past 2 draws for autoaim have been really lackluster. He drew a Goblin and then another Soul Squasher. So, I mean, it's great to have that card, Soul Squasher, but you really want to be drawing into those higher costs, those higher tier cards.
We're on the enhanced turn. There could be a full board clear here, and then there's only 1 card left for auto aim.
Right. The Coco.
Yeah, the 1 Coco.
Sky Knights, prepare for battle.
And I think it'll be smart. Clear the 2 Soul Squashers. Throw the what is the this upgraded cool guy knight?
Steelclad Knight.
Steelclad Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the heavy knight, Steelclad Knight. There's a knight.
With Orthrus, this is a really difficult spot for autoaim to be in.
Armor has been pierced.
There's not a whole lot of answers he has. He's going to be able to Alwida's next turn with Lancer if he wants to.
Oh,
second
God.
Alwida's. Oh my
Oh,
gosh, Noah's
no.
going to be able to run away with this game.
Oh no. There's so much damage coming down
Oh
the
my gosh.
pipeline. He had so many cards surviving here.
And this is the first damage that he's doing to FaZe. He's been playing
Yeah.
control this whole game, hoping that he gets to this point that he just did.
Caffeinated Albert is pretty good.
Oh, with another Goblin draw, no.
That's not cool.
That's not good. That's going to be game. Noah running away with it.
Oh no.
That is the whole hand for auto-aim. So much pressure put on the board by
oh
Noah.
my god, and
There's the
Grimnir as
Grimnir.
well. How that turned on its head so quick.
Noah was able to stay alive. He lost 8 health and was able to stay alive, keeping on to Tsubaki, holding on to Albert
Oh.
until we got to the later stage of the game, and it really served him well.
That enhanced Albert, getting 3 turns with an enhanced Albert. Absolutely insane. I've never seen anything like it. And Noah will take the win. In fact, autoaim was not able, didn't pray to Coco and Mimi to give them the victory. And